Hi, Lee. Hi, Anna.
Hi.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Anna from GreenGeeks, and thank you for joining us for today's webinar. We're very excited. 10 Best Web Design Practices to Create Engagement by our guest speaker, Levy, founder and design queen of Next Graphics. I'm going to introduce you, Lee, in a moment. But real quick, I wanted to say a couple of words about GreenGeeks. For those of you who may not be familiar with us, we are a 300% green energy web hosting provider, which essentially means we put back 3 times the power we consume in the form of renewable energy. We have been recognized by the US EPA since 2009 as a Green Power Partner, and we offer share hosting, reseller hosting, VPS, and dedicated servers. Now, moving on to some housekeeping items for the webinar. If you have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the Q&A, and Lee will be answering them at the end of her presentation. You can also chat in the chat room. Remember to select everyone if you want everyone to see what you're discussing. And as always, we are recording this. So if you have to step away, don't worry, as we're going to send the recording to you in the next couple of days. Also, we have enabled live transcription for this webinar. So if you want, you have the ability during the webinar to enable the live transcription by going to live transcript and then show subtitles. I'm going to introduce Erica, who's here from our GreenGeeks team today. Erica will be assisting us with the chat and the Q&A. Hey, welcome, Erica. Do you want to say hi? Introduce yourself.
Hi, Anna. Thank you.
Hi.
I am Erica Barbosa. I am from Costa Rica. I work in the partners team at GreenGeeks. Today I'm going to be in the chat, sharing some links. Hope you enjoyed today with Lee, and thank you for being here.
Thanks, Erica. I'm going to introduce Lee now. Lee is a Los Angeles-based creative director. She's the founder of Next Graphics and has a proven track record of helping companies build a strong presence across the World Wide Web. Bringing 25 years of industry experience, she provides graphic design and web solutions identity with a refined aesthetic. She graduated with a BA degree from Florida State University and began consulting with clients immediately, putting her skill to good use. And 25 years later, she has collaborated with many companies to improve their brand identity and their web presence. With the constant evolution of the industry and requirements to adapt, she's motivated to educate her clients and handle new challenges constantly. On a personal note, she overcame a battle with breast cancer in 2019, has come back with a vengeance. Yes. She was recently featured as a successful entrepreneur in .com and Voyage LA magazine. She does speaking engagements for press conferences and business seminars and webinars as well. So welcome, Lee. We're very excited to have you. Do you want to say hi and start your presentation?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for having me. This was amazing. I was so happy to meet you guys at the conference.
Yes.
Okay, so share screen and give me one moment. Okay.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, can you guys see my screen now?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
perfect. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm really happy to be doing this in partnership with GreenGeeks. And today I'm going to be talking about best design practices to create website engagement. I'm going to be throwing a lot of information out to you guys. So hopefully, even if you pick up some of this, any little tips and tricks can make a huge difference in your website. So without further ado, let's get started. So as they were introducing me, I'm the founder of Next Graphics. I call myself the web design queen. I have been in business for 25 years. I'm a mom of 2 teenagers, cancer survivor, 2019. And then when I am not geeking out, you can find me doing Zumba, belly dance, photography, travel, kind of all over the place. So I love coming out from behind the computer and doing fun things as well. Okay, I'm going to start with my favorite quote, and it's design is not what it looks like and feels like. Design is how it works. And that is a famous quote from Steve Jobs, which I absolutely love and live by. So let's get started. Let's talk a little bit about website traffic. I'm going to give you a couple of little tidbits here that the human attention span is only 8 seconds. So if you think about that, it's really not a lot of time. The average user will spend about 10 to 20 seconds on a website and no more than that. So if you put those numbers together, you pretty much have 4 to 5 seconds to capture your audience's attention when they hit your website. So what I'm going to talk about today is the use of proper design and elements to keep your clients engaged on your website. Now, that formula, the 4 to 5 seconds, this is what your website needs to show within those 4 to 5 seconds. The who am I, which is your logo and your tagline clearly visible. What is it that I do, which they have to have a clear understanding of what you guys do, what you sell, what your company is all about. What can one do on my website, stating your goals, your objectives, and what you expect somebody to accomplish on this website. And also, why do business with me? Because that's very important. You definitely need to state your uniqueness and why you are a great choice for them. Okay, first and foremost website tip is make sure that your website loads fast. And I come across this all the time when I do analysis on people's website. Your website should load in 4 seconds or less, because 50% of the visitors will abandon sites that take too long to load. And that's just a fact. Think about it for 2 seconds. How many of you go to a website and you get the scrolling line of death, or you got some kind of a message that comes up, a website doesn't load, and you are just on to the next website. So remember that number, your website should load in 4 seconds or less. Here's just a couple of things that can cause your website to be slow, because I get asked this all the time. So number 1 would be a slow hosting server. We happen to be with an amazing company right now, so absolutely check out their great packages for hosting. You can have large images that may not have been optimized, or you could have too many images sometimes on your website. That is also something that I see if you don't delete your images. You might have way too many plugins that are outdated, plugins that are not updated. You might have too many elements on one page, especially lots of times when you have all sorts of third-party elements working together. You might have a poor quality theme, or, and this one I see a lot, it's a malware or a virus that's causing your website to run slow. So whatever it is, those are all reasons that can cause a website to run slow. So be sure that you, if you're a web designer, you know these things. If you're not, check with your web designer, because your website should not have any of these happening. Now, how do I know if my website is slow? Yes, and I get that question all the time. Well, for one thing, if somebody tells you your website is slow and you hear it a lot, your website is slow. However, here's a couple of really great tools that you can check. And I have 81 slides, so I'm going to kind of breeze through a couple of these, but GTmetrix is a really good one. Pingdom, and also Google Page Speed Insights. All of these can run an analysis on your website, and they can tell you more or less how many seconds it takes for your website to load. It's very, very important that you stay on top of that, because any changes to your website can also change the speed. So I happen to really like GTmetrix, so I'm just kind of showing you a little bit of a screenshot of how that might look. Do not look at the letter. The letter score is all sorts of other metrics. What you really want to look at is this 1 second fully loaded time. Absolutely. That's the section that I circled in red. That's what you want to see, and that's what has to be 4 seconds or less. So a couple of tips on how to fix some of this. Make sure that you delete your older inactive plugins, because plugins do add a lot of features to a functionality to a website, but they also add a lot of weight. Choose only plugins that you must have. Check reputability and rating for plugins before you install them. If you see one that does not have a good star rating, please do not install it. Keep making sure that they are updated and make sure that you delete unused plugins. I had a client last week with 57 plugins and 15 of them were only being used. So make sure absolutely that you clean up your back end and make sure that you do not have plugins in there that you're not using. You can also speed up your entire site using a cache-in plugin. So some of these are ones that I recommend. WP Rocket, W3 Total Cache, WP Super Cache, and Auto Optimize. Those are some of my favorites. Another rule of thumb is to make sure that you keep your websites clean and simple, because a cluttered and busy website will not only distract people, but they'll send them off your page. And, you know, just like you look at that garage that gives me heat, I can't even look at it on the left side there. Same thing with a website. When a website is cluttered and things are all over the place, you're either going to lose your audience or they're going to go right off the website. Okay, so versus keeping a clean, nice, simple website, just like that, people can flow their eyes down the page in a normal, organized manner, and chances are they will stay on your website longer. Now, this is something that normally I have a whole nother presentation just on colors, so I'm going to breeze through this really quickly because color is a very, very big factor in your website. So this is what the big professionals and the big companies have studied for many, many, many years, but there is a science behind the colors that you choose for your logo. So it all depends on what mood you're trying to set. And the colors actually do have some kind of a scientific effect on the brain. So more than likely, a lot of people will notice that the fast food companies are usually using the yellow, red, and orange for their colors. And that's because look what they represent: optimism, friendliness, excitement. So, you know, those colors are usually, oops, my slide just went haywire here. Give me 1 second. Let me get this back. The top three colors are the warm and the friendly colors, and they do create excitement. Whereas more likely, let's say in the toy industry, you will see a lot of purples, a lot of pinks, especially, you know, for the girls' toys. Those are representing more the creative, imagination, wise, mystical, magic type of environment. And then here's the blue for a lot of the technology companies, which is usually trust, dependability, strength. And you'll see a lot of the banking industries using blue, a lot of technology companies. Green would go a lot of times with the more natural type companies. It also represents balance, peaceful, health. Whereas the brown colors, the earth tones, are more rugged, strength, and honesty. And then you have your black, silver, and white, which are kind of merged into one category. But silver is timeless, classic, you know, along with the grays. And then black is the elite, sophisticated mystery. So a lot of times you will see the very large, fancy, elite companies using black in their logos. So once again, this is something that I can normally do an hour presentation just on color, but there is an actual science behind it. And so when choosing your color palettes, just a couple of rules. Use the bold colors in combination with your neutrals, and call attention to small areas on the website that you'd like to stand out. Don't put big red, harsh color backgrounds, you know, that are painful on the eyes. And today that's also an ADA compliance issue. So make sure that you're not using those big, bright colors that stand out and hurt everybody's eyes. Make sure that if you're going to use a darker background, use lighter text and vice versa. I see that all the time where somebody will put the text and the background so close together that it's not readable. Do not use too many bright colors together, and do not use, for example, too many colors from the same tones. That also doesn't work. So a lot of times people will choose a photo that they like and then they match their color palette to that. So again, this is something that a branding expert will help you with. Web designers can also do that, but sometimes branding experts will get your color palettes and your logos and all your designs together for you. And if you want to choose some colors and see how they look good together, I put 2 examples at the bottom. Always good to check your colors all together before just choosing them, because some people, I ask them, where did this logo come from? Where did this color come from? And they're like, I don't know. I'm like, you just picked colors without, thinking what they stand for. And I can't tell you how many times I see that. So it's very important to think about the science behind the colors as well. Now, just as colors do stuff on the website, so do your fonts. And the fonts actually do have meaning and science behind them as well. So again, when you're choosing your font combinations, you need to be careful not to use too many different fonts. Proper combination of fonts is a really good thing. If it's simple and clean and easy to read, once again, people will stay on your website. And all this is about how to get people to stay on your website. So again, it's all in how you design the look. Make sure you keep the number of fonts to a minimum, normally 2 fonts, 1 usually used for the headings and 1 for the body. Again, colors sparingly, don't design every colored font in a totally different color. Make sure that you minimize the use of your script fonts because they are very hard to read. Sometimes people pick certain fonts that are just impossible to read. And you do have to keep in mind who's your audience and who's reading your website material. Do not overuse all uppercase text. It's good for titles and highlights every now and then. And then ensure that a proper text size is used. Most websites, they should use a minimum of 16-point text for the body, and then obviously much larger for the headings. And so as far as the feelings that it invokes, this is, again, once the psychology behind your type choices. So you have your serif fonts, which are like the more older, traditional, respectful type fonts. You have your serif fonts, which are more solid and bold for stability. You have your display fonts, which are very friendly and expressive. They can be used more for the fun, stylish kind of websites. You have your script fonts, which represent elegance and creativity. And then you have your modern fonts, which are very progressive and stylish, which a lot of websites are gearing more towards today. Okay, now we're going to talk a little bit about clear and concise menu navigation. So how many times have you gone to a website and you've gone to their menu and you've tried to drop down and you found that you were just going in a loop if you were going all over the place and you're like, and you get right off the website? Menu design is very, very important. You have to make sure that your clients get to where they need to go quickly and efficiently. So just like, again, mess of signs, messy website, messy navigation. In this particular example, there's buttons everywhere. There's submenus. There's things going on the side. No one can figure out where to get to on this type of a website versus type of website that's all organized with the proper drop downs in the proper areas. So a couple of tips for good navigation is to make sure first that you put your important pages, the main pages, at the very top level. And use your colors wisely. Again, don't have your colors and your highlights going all over the place. Make sure that you keep to a nice neutral type color scheme for your menu. And if you do need to have a third level where it's dropping down and then dropping over, again, that's fine. But just make sure that you keep everything easy for the client to get to where they need to go to. And also keep the wording short and to the point. Try not to make the words on the menu more than 2 to 3 words, because then your menus will slide out way far off somebody's page and definitely won't be mobile responsive, which is very important. Okay, so now we're going to talk about a hero image. I know a lot of people don't know what that is, so I'm going to get right to that one, because your hero image is your prime real estate on your website. So your hero image is that main image that everybody opens up to that shows above the fold. And I'll give you some examples in a moment. But your hero image has to accomplish 3 things. It has to tell your story without anybody reading the text that's on it. So in other words, people have to know what that picture means. You have to state a clear call to action, which is the statement with the button to get them to do something. And you should include a good quality photo. So many times people take a picture on a cell and they send it to me, and I'm just like, this is very grainy. This is not readable. Make sure you have a good quality, large hero image. I'll show you a sample. But before I do that, I want you to take this quick challenge. So this was an actual client that came to me. And I'm going to show you how a simple change can make a huge difference. This is their hero, or was their hero image. So when you look at this picture, obviously you know that it's Lake Tahoe, but other than Lake Tahoe, what does this client do? So they were telling me that they didn't have people staying on their website because they were tracking their metrics and they couldn't understand why. So looking at the title and looking at the menu, you could probably guess that maybe they are some city organization talking about Lake Tahoe, or they are maybe a travel agent, or maybe it's a hotel offering, you know, bed and breakfast in Lake Tahoe, but you really can't tell what they're doing other than this beautiful hero image. So after a little bit of revision, now can you tell what this customer does? Would you have ever thought that this is a photography website? So within a few minor changes, we took this website from 0 to hero, and now we even added the buttons that said Nevada photos, California photos, and Cave Rock photos, which is something they specialize in. So once again, super important to match your image with the right text and explain to people what they do, because this is the part they see above the fold. And some people don't even know that you have to scroll down. So this is why you have to catch the attention right then and there. So again, little changes that I spoke about at the beginning can make a huge difference on your website. And now I'm going to give you a second example, because once again, this is another client that came to me. And what would you assume that this company does? Okay, so by looking at it, obviously you would think that it's a cleaning company, but it's actually not. Burn calories while cleaning your home. This is a company that actually teaches you how to do workouts while you're cleaning your home. It's actually a really unique thing that she has, and she sells all sorts of videos and programs for dancing while you're cleaning your home. But once again, no one could tell that from the image that she originally had up there. So by us doing a simple change, burn calories while cleaning your home, and getting better pictures in here, now you can actually see the perfect call to action. And well, these guys actually make cleaning look fun, so why not? But obviously now when you see this, you can tell a little bit more of what she does combined with her call to action underneath it. Made all the difference in the world for this website. So now that we talked about that, let's get a little bit more into call to actions, because there's so many different kind of call to actions that you can do on your website. So I want to get a little bit in detail on these. So a call to action is an invitation for a user to take a desired action on your website. So it's very, very important that you use call to actions throughout your site. And they can be so attractive and tempting with the right offer. But when you see buttons and you see a good offer, you're going to get your clients to be tempted to click through. So I'm going to go over 6 different types of call to actions. Here are the first 3. The first one is called the free effect, where you would see a button that might say try it for free, free download, free 30-day trial, sign up for free. Your next group would be called your direct call to actions, which would be just a sign up today, join us today, buy now, add to cart. All those are kind of seen on e-commerce websites, or become a member. You have your visual call to actions, which would be the type that are more like watch our tour, see it in action, browse through our plans, view our portfolios, something that's a little bit more active on the eyes, which is all your visual call to actions. And then these are the next 3. The detailed call to action are anything that would be like your live preview, try the demo, take the tour, more features, more info, where it opens up to more detailed information. you have your contact call to action, which is just a simple contact us, get a quote, stay connected, send an email, keep in touch, anything that you just want to get contact information through. And then everybody's favorite, which is the limited offer call to action. Now, this one is the most effective on your Black Fridays, on your special sales, and you will just not get what you need to get unless you take advantage of this offer right now. So it's a limited time offer. It is ends in 24 hours. Lots of times you'll see it with a timer, and then you get pressure because you have to buy it because there's a ticking clock. Offer expires tomorrow or a date. 50% off for the first 50 buyers. Order now and receive a gift. And now, of course, you know that a lot of times something will expire in 15 minutes and then tomorrow you see the same ad. So once again, it's a really useful tactic in grabbing attention very quickly. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about adding videos to your website. So this is an actual true statement, but basically, according to the Forrester research, a 60-second video, a picture is worth 1,000 words, but a video is worth 1.8 million words. So think about that one for a second. Why include videos on your website? Videos tend to increase your engagement from 10 to 20%. They are much more interesting to watch than reading really, really long pages of text. They tend to give a clear picture of your product or service. They appeal to the senses because everybody would much rather watch something than read something. And sometimes it helps to create a certain mood for depending on what you're trying to get across. It delivers your message. It can actually help drive traffic to your website because if you're pulling videos off of YouTube, that's also part of Google. So it helps actually bring traffic to your website. It gives your company a personality, makes you stand out from the competition, and it also makes you more memorable. So types of videos on websites. These are, again, a couple of different styles of videos you can put on your website. For the business services, business consulting type websites, you definitely might want to show your staff in action with your clients. Show how you create solutions for your clients. If you sell physical or digital products, you might love to show people using the actual product. Show how great life is when using your product so that they can actually experience the act itself. Show your product in action. Experience type videos, which are more like for maybe event companies, for travel companies. You want to create a sense of excitement in the video if your client participates in whatever it is that you're trying to sell. Or you want to create a storyline of the experience by showing people having an amazing time. If you have a restaurant, hotel, store type business, you want to create the desire to want to visit your physical location with this video. Focus heavily on your location, what it has to offer, and create that sense of enjoyment for what someone can get when they come to your location. And especially if you're a restaurant, food, appeal to the senses because food sells itself. You don't even need words, you just need photos. So photos and videos of food. We all know what commercials do to us. Absolutely, you guys should be using your food. Okay, we're going to talk about getting social. And again, I come across this all the time. Don't underestimate the power of social media going both ways, and I mean cross-promoting. So your website should link out to your social media, and your social media should all have a link to your website, because chances are if you got somebody to one medium and they stayed long enough to find out about you, they're going to want to go over to all your mediums and be a part of it. So make sure that you're cross-promoting. And that doesn't just mean social media icons, but I'm going to talk next also about the social media shares. So on your website, when you have, first of all, location is very important. Header is sitting with a question mark because it's been kind of argued back and forth that you should not anymore be putting your social media in your header unless you don't want people on your website, but you worked so hard to get them to your website, and now you're going to get them off your website to your social media. So the really best placement would be in the footer and sometimes a floating sidebar because that way you at least got people to your website, give them a chance to stay there, and then connect with you through your social media. And very, very important. I see this again all the time. If you are going to send people to your social media, make sure that you open it in a new tab so they don't get off your website. So once they're done liking or following whatever they do and they close it, they're back on your website. And for you HTML geeks out there, it's the target equals blank code. So make sure that you're using that. Open it in a new tab. Now, your social media share icons, I gave a couple of examples here. They should be all over your website. So if you're in e-commerce, if you have product, you absolutely want to have these on every single product, because if somebody found something that a friend was looking for, what better way to promote you and to get them to come to your website than to just share the product on social media. So it's absolutely essential that you have that. You can have it on blog articles, you can have it on your products, you can have it basically anywhere on your website. It definitely helps to improve your customer experience, to increase your brand exposure and your website traffic, and also to help reach your target market. Social media is very, very important. Here's a couple of examples of some social media share plugins if you're using the WordPress platform. These are really good. There are hundreds of them. These are just samples of ones that I have used. You can write those down or watch the video later. Very helpful plugins. And now let's talk a little bit about some chat boxes on your website. So 4 things that live chat can do for your business. Answer questions, because sometimes no matter how much content you have on your website, people will still have questions. And by the way, take that as a sign to add that to your website if people keep asking the same questions over and over again. It can make converting faster because sometimes a client is ready to buy and just wants to clarify something really quick. So by hopping on a quick chat on your website, they can clarify it and they can close the deal. Outshine your competitors who actually are not using this service. And also you can work from anywhere. You don't have to be stuck in one place. Prospective clients can click through. And sometimes if you have that attached to your cell phone, you can respond right there from your cell phone. So you can work from anywhere, which actually makes this look really, really good. I was actually in the Bahamas 2 weeks ago, and this was a really great thing. Now I have a crazy dog here. I'm sorry. He probably wants to be in the presentation. So rules for using chat boxes: make sure that it is automated when you're away, because nothing is more frustrating than leaving the "how may I help you?" Make sure that frequently asked questions are on autopilot. Simple questions like hours of operation, location, pricing, anything that is standard information should absolutely be on your autopilot. Now, what I mean by autopilot is some of these chats have the robotic questions as well. So all you have to do is program your frequently asked questions into there, and it'll just pop it up right away when nobody's available. And try also to use a real photo when you are talking to people, because nobody likes to see the, whatever they call it, Arnold or whatever their robots are named. People really want to see who they're talking to, so try to use a real photo. Mobile responsiveness. Yes, it still has to be discussed because I see a lot of websites that are still not mobile responsive. And that is frustrating because if somebody is on a cell phone and they still have to use their fingers to enlarge it, they're probably not going to stay on your website. They probably will get off your website. So it's very important to make sure that your website is mobile responsive today. So again, quick example of a non-responsive versus a responsive website. And just a couple of simple reasons. Most people know this. If you don't, it adapts to any screen size. It definitely can help improve your SEO with your Google performance. And it improves your bounce rate. Now, bounce rate is basically when somebody comes to your website and goes right off. A little bit of humor here, but if that's not enough reason to make it responsive, at least do it for these guys. And yes, we all do it. So let's not, a recent survey does show that 75% of Americans do bring their phones to the bathroom. So At least give them a decent experience. But seriously, Google is flagging all non-responsive sites with this message. So if you don't have a mobile-friendly site, that's a really ugly thing to have on your listing. So you work so hard with your SEO, don't have that message on your website. Okay, testimonials and reviews are super, super important on your website. So on an average, one happy customer will tell an average of 9 people about their experience with you. So think about that for a second, because we'll get right back to that number. Negative reviews. For one complaint, that is a potential of 26 clients that will read that and not go to your website. So that's a pretty incredible number, because we all know that negative news spreads fast. So definitely get good reviews from your clients and make sure that you keep those reviews up to date as well. It's a really good idea to display your reviews on your website. You can highlight one per week in a prominent area. Just create a reviews or testimonials page on your website. And especially if you can get video reviews from your client, that's even better, because as we said before, video attracts more attention than words. You can keep a scrolling carousel of testimonials, and never use too many of them or it gets too boring. I had a real estate agent with 200 of them and nobody goes to page 12 or 15 of all the reviews. So just keep it short and to the point, change them up, keep it fresh. Again, for Google, it's a good thing. And also make sure that you're cross-promoting your reviews. So you can also use some plugins that will embed Google or Yelp reviews into your website. And again, you can manually pick your top reviews. Also, you can send them to Google page to see the rest, or Yelp, or whatever else you're trying to do. And I put a star there because, once again, open it in a new tab. If you're sending somebody to something off your website, always make sure that you're opening it in a new tab. Also encourage and ask for reviews from your clients, because the more Google reviews you have today, the more it will also help drive traffic to your website. Okay, it's very important to respond to reviews. So when clients do give you a review, no matter what website it's on, you always thank them with a response. So many businesses ignore this, and it is just, I don't know why, because a public thank you just goes a long way. The client sees it and other people also see that you are very responsive, and that's just good business sense, period. Nothing to do with websites. And yes, if you do get a negative review, it happens. There's always that one person that has to say something. First rule of thumb, do not take it personally. Respond with a kind statement, because responding to negative reviews, it does show a potential client that you are really a professional. Don't just ignore it. Write something like, "We're sorry you had this experience. We'll contact you to see how we can make this right." Don't argue with them. Don't write 2 paragraphs of information. Simple and quick. "We will get in touch with you to see how we can make this right." No one needs to know how you handled it off the grid, but just a response goes a long, long way. Also, another thing that helps keeping clients on your website is if you offer some kind of reward incentive for referrals. So who likes free stuff? Chances are, if you're already getting the referrals and if your clients like you, so why not show a little bit of appreciation and boost your chances even more? So there's different kind of referral programs, and they can actually help skyrocket your business, because, once again, who likes to get free stuff? Some of the best benefits are you can attract new clients with a low cost pay for performance. That's a tongue twister. It helps bring you high quality clients, because referred clients will spend about 25% more on average with you. And it has a proven track record of success, which is used by many large companies. So what kind of incentives or rewards should I offer? There are a lot of different things that you can do with this. So first thing you need to know is who your current clients are and what type of reward would they most enjoy. So here's a couple of types of referral rewards that companies might want to offer. Physical rewards would be a gift card, a store card, a Visa card. You can offer a branded swag item, free products or service. If you're in the food industry, especially around the holidays, people love to get brownies, cookies, food. There's non-physical rewards, which are discounts or coupons for a product or service. Maybe a free upgrade might be something that would be great for your client. A free subscription, or maybe even a donation to your client's favorite charity. Some people don't want something, they would love something in their name for a charity. So that those are all great things to offer rewards for your clients. And also I want to give you this little bonus tip because this is something that I come across a lot. Make sure that you add a full signature to all your emails. So whatever program it is that you are using, this is great when you have a normal email signature, but it's also boring. Best regards with your name, maybe you have a link to your company. But what a difference if you're sending out an email that looks something like this. Once again, a photo, some icons, some color, something that matches the branding to your website, because this will actually get people to click to your website. People, this is free traffic. I mean, I cannot tell you, sometimes even when I used to email, when my kids were little and I would get on some kind of volunteer thing for the school, when they see an email like this, all of a sudden they're like, oh, I didn't know you do website design. They are looking at your signature, not just sincerely with a name. This is attractive, this is interesting, and people will want to learn more about you. So make sure that you do have your email signatures matching the branding of your website as well. Because you can also increase 25% of your business with more people coming in there. So most of these will work seamlessly with Outlook, Gmail, and most email software. But if you just Google something like email signature generator, there's tons of them out there that you can do, or you can build it in Gmail or Outlook yourself. It just depends on your level of tech. So just some closing thoughts, because I know that we have some questions coming in. Just ask yourself how many of you picked up a couple of tips today, even one or two. Anything that you can do to improve your website will make a huge difference. How many of these did you know about, but you actually have never applied yet or done? So I wanted to say thank you to everybody. And if you have any questions, comments, or feedback, there is my QR code. Please feel free to use it and, scan it and get to my website and just fill out the quick form and ask any questions that you have. I'll be happy to jump on and answer questions if we don't get it right now in the session. So thank you.
Thank you, Lee. That was really great.
Thank you.
I see some questions in the Q&A. So can we read them over and reply to them?
Yes. Oh, you want me to type it right now in the chat, or
no, just if you can just read the question, because in the recording they cannot see the questions.
Yes.
And then answer them live.
Okay, so let's see. I've got okay, so Crystal is asking, what is a good Chatbox plugin for WordPress? Okay, Crystal, there are so many of them, but it seems like most of my clients used to they like live chat. I know they are a little bit more expensive, but they also have a WordPress integration. So it works very, very well with WordPress. There are so many of them, but that's the one that's the most popular. But I would actually go into the WordPress plugins and just I want to say Google it. Look in WordPress plugins and just look for something that is compatible with WordPress. And if you're not using WordPress, go to Google and just find something in there, because again, there's hundreds of them. My personal recommendation is live chat. They're very easy to work with and their support is excellent. Let's see. Oh, wow, they're coming in a lot now. Okay, Marie, how can I optimize images? What are the correct measures for images? Okay, the second part of the question is, it depends on your website, your specifications. You really, really should try to get your images sized down as much as possible not with making them grainy. As far as optimizing images, I don't know. There are, you can do it in Photoshop. You can do it in Photoshop Elements. There are actually online programs that do this. So once again, if you Google online, I think it's online image optimizer, there are some, like maybe 10 will show up right then and there where you upload an image, and then you click a button, it'll size down the image, and you can actually download the result. So there are a few that are online, but for me, I mean, Photoshop is always the best. If you can't use Photoshop, there's an easier version, Photoshop Elements. And then also there are plugins called WP Smush and a few other things like that, where it'll all do it for you. So if you happen to get too many large images online, it will run through all your images and size them down for you as well. Let's see. How do you make a new tab for Facebook? I'm assuming you are talking about when someone clicks on the Facebook to open the new tab. So I don't know your level of tech. However, if you're using a plugin, all you have to do is make sure that obviously you have your Facebook link, go ahead and attach it to there, and make sure if it has a checkbox that says open in a new tab, which most of the plugins do, just click on that. And if not, you have to use that target equals quote blank. I don't know, again, if you know HTML or not. If you want, please contact me and I'll kind of walk you through that. But again, I don't know anybody's level of tech here. We have all sorts of levels of tech. Let's see. Mariam is asking for an education website. What are the better colors to make a good logo? That's a really good question. Again, there is no right or wrong here. But again, for education purposes, most of my clients seem to want to go with blue. Again, it depends if you're trying to show, dependability and honesty, things like that. I think the blue and maybe gray hues would actually work. Blues with blacks, red, yellow, orange, maybe one of those in combination, but I think blue would definitely work. And again, if you want me to talk to you about the colors, please feel free to contact me and I'll be happy to do that as well. Tanya is asking, is it better to have more content on your homepage or encourage visits to individual pages? Yes, and yes. Your homepage should have a little bit of everything, because chances are that's the page they are going to land on. So that's a whole nother lecture that I do, and maybe I will do that one next time. But yes, your homepage is going to be your biggest. Little bit of content that's going to have call to actions to each section. But don't underestimate encouraging visits to other pages as well, especially landing pages. So basically, when you design your website, you really have to put emphasis on all the pages. But I definitely recommend getting a little bit of everything on the homepage, because people will scroll through that one to decide whether they want to continue to your other pages. Sherry is asking, with so many ways for our web visitors to connect with us. I think you're talking about spam on the forms, and that unfortunately is a huge problem. So the best thing to do to try to protect yourself from spam on the forms is to use what's called a CAPTCHA. I don't know if you know what that is or not, but that's where you could put, where somebody has to put, I know for us, it's great. For the client, it sucks because it's either asking a question, a math question, or to click on some images like a fire hydrant or a tree. But Google has the best one, and it's called Google RE CAPTCHA. That's the one that most people do like to use. It's not gonna, no plugin is gonna stop spam 100%, but it'll stop like those hundreds of spams from coming in. There's plenty of others. You can also combine that with Akismet, which is also a good plugin for that as well. They have a free version, they have a paid version. So yeah, feel free to contact me with that as well. Let's see, website design suggestions. Gisela is asking for nonprofit advocacy groups. So not sure, that's a little bit ambiguous, but that sounds like something that I would definitely do a free consult for. So Gisela, please feel free to scan and contact me on that form, and then we can absolutely speak online. Because I think that, again, what I gave today was very general, but as I meet with clients, there's all different kinds of businesses, and they all have specific needs and specific things that they must have. So that definitely, I'll be happy to speak with you offline. Tim, this isn't a question. Huge. Oh, thank you. That's really sweet. We always love good feedback. I'm glad. I hope you picked up a real good couple of tips, and absolutely, if you'd like to contact me for any questions, feel free. Let's see. Teresa is asking, what do you think of integrating Telegram Messenger app as a social media channel and chat box? You know, I personally have not used it, but I have heard really good things about it. So, you know what? Maybe let's explore that together. I would be happy to take a look at it for you and see the features. Again, I can never recommend or not recommend something if I haven't personally used it, but my clients have definitely been happy with it. So check it out. Always check ratings. And I always love to read what other people say, the pluses and the minuses, and, you know, make your decision based on that. Thank you, Mario. Appreciate the good feedback. Gail, hey Lee, that was awesome. Thank you, Gail. I appreciate it. Do you do reviews of sites and an update and overhaul service? Absolutely. We do brand new websites. We do overhauls. We do reviews. Please feel free to contact me, and we can do, I don't know, I meet with clients locally. If you're not local, we can do Zoom. Absolutely. And then I can, you know, build websites. So since I'm here in LA, most of my client base is here, but I do have plenty of clients out of state, and I'll be happy to talk with you about your specific needs. Carrie, thank you so much. Great information. I appreciate that. Miriam, you're welcome. Angela, you are welcome. I really appreciate it. Let's see. Robert is asking, any special website design guidance for a nonprofit charitable organization? Same thing as I just responded before. Please contact me. I'll be happy to, you know, look into it. I have done a lot of nonprofits, but they are so different from business to business. So again, this was a general what your website should have. Nonprofits are like a whole nother ballgame. And again, if you're willing to spend half an hour, so am I, to go through that with you and answer your specific questions. ADA compliance. Here's the big one. I don't have all the answers there because they are constantly changing. Mary Ann is asking, in regards to ADA compliance, is it okay to open your social media in a new tab? That one is still being argued because you're dealing kind of with ADA issues, and you're dealing now with web issues that, you know, you don't want to take people off your website. So this one is a little bit ambiguous, and I can absolutely look into that for you. So please, if you can, send me a quick email on that one, and I will definitely find the answer for you, because I actually do work with an ADA compliance specialist. And because that's very new in the industry, and it's constantly changing, and the conditions are always changing, I'd rather not respond without finding that out, latest and greatest. Thank you. I appreciate it. Let's see. What else do we have here? What WordPress templates do you recommend using? Okay. I'm not sure if we have any reps from any of these companies here. So I kind of tend to not really, recommend specifics here. However, my favorite is Elementor. I really do love to use Elementor because it has a great page builder. Others that all my other colleagues use would be Beaver Builder. There is Oxygen Builder. There's a couple of other styles. There's so many good ones out there. What I don't recommend using is, buying those themes from those online companies, because a lot of times I've seen them going out of business, or the user is sitting God knows where. And if they just decide to not update their template, eventually you're going to start to see all sorts of incompatibilities. But however, Jeanette, please again, send me an email. I'll be totally happy to talk talk to you offline about that as well, because I have a lot to say on that nature. Let's see. Mel is asking, how are we doing on time? Are we good? Still good? Okay.
Yeah, we're still good. Thank you.
Okay. Mel is asking, how do you deal with false bad reviews from, yeah. Wow, I could go an hour with stories on that one from people who have not used your service. Unfortunately, they're called competitors with no ethics, and it does happen. I came up with an idea for one of my clients, and it seems to have worked because there's, unfortunately, and especially Yelp, because they're just known to be extortionists. Unfortunately, you cannot have those bad reviews removed unless, I guess, you could really prove that somebody is not legit. However, I would respond to that with, I'm sorry that you feel that way. I'm looking in my database. We do not seem to recognize you as a client. Please, let's discuss this. And if you did, in fact, make a purchase from us or use our services, we'll be happy to rectify it. Once again, that just shows to other people that you're professional. And yet, I know what you're thinking in your head you want to write, and what you actually write are two different things, but definitely keep it professional. And unfortunately, it just does happen. That's why it's so important to get so many more good reviews, so that if one like that just happens to come in, people won't see the one bad review. They'll see the 99 good reviews. Okay, let's see. Okay, Karina is asking, any tips on how to make GDPR less intrusive while still keeping pop-ups present? Wow, that's a whole nother ballgame. Karina, please contact me about that. Again, some of these things I can't give in a one-sentence answer, and I will absolutely be happy to talk to you about that as well. Let's see. What else do we have here? GT metrics, first content. Somebody actually ran their GT metrics. Great. Thank you. That makes me happy that someone did this right when they were online. So you got a 6.4 seconds. Okay. Not horrible, but not great. So basically 6 seconds to load. Look, it's not a tragedy. Will it cause people to go off your website? Maybe yes, maybe no. I'm not sure what hosting you are using. But definitely give GreenGeeks a shot, because I know that they have really good servers. But yes, hosting sometimes, and one thing I do want to say, I can't name companies, but there are certain hosting companies out there that have awful speeds on their websites. Do not invest in a cheap, and I mean those few dollar a month packages. They are awful. They will make your website go slow, and they're shared with God knows how many people, and especially some of the large companies out there. You should never, this is your website, this is your business. Spend good money for a.
Well, thank you so much. And one last thing I want to say, because you said something about branding, that in about a month, in mid-December, we're going to have a branding expert doing a webinar, Maddie Osman, talking about how to create a brand guideline. So if anybody was interested in that, Erika, can you share the link? Yes, you did. Thank you. Erika shared the link in the chat. Other than that, please, everyone, because we're out of time, if you need to have any questions that we haven't answered, we're sorry. Perhaps you can contact Lee directly and she can answer them for you.
Yes, I'd be happy to.
Okay, well, thank you everyone for watching the webinar to the end, and please sign up for the next webinar. And thank you, Lee. Thank you so much for all the information. And thank you, Erika, for your help.
Thank you, Lee,
great.
for
My
your
pleasure.
presentation.
Thank
And
you,
Anna,
ladies.
thank you.
We will see you all soon.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.